Okay, let's go.
New Bedford's new online radio station. WNB1 Radio broadcasting live 24/7. All music genres. WNB1 Radio. Your urban music link.
Hey, you are listening to WNB1 Radio. I'm Charlie Perry, and this is the Really Charlie podcast. Today's guest is Gail Forts from the YWCA. She's the executive director and a longtime friend of mine, and I couldn't wait to get her on here. But she's busy. She's really busy, got a lot of things to do as far as, their goals. But I finally got it here, and we had to kind of prearrange it months ago, and we got it done, and it worked out great. This is a great day for me because both of us are Bay Village kids, so we're, we get a long history, and I'm very proud of her when I see her in the newspaper, whether it's on social media, whatever she's doing. It's like seeing your kin accomplish something. And she's my friend, and I'm really, really proud of all the things you've done, including was it Woman of the Year?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that?
Hi, Charlie. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me here. I'm glad I finally made it. I think it was like 3 months ago we talked
Yeah,
about this.
yes.
So it's good to be here and be with you,
Thank you.
today. And yeah, that was a surprise
Mhm.
to be Woman of the Year, and great honor, and to be recognized
Yes,
in our home community.
I I think it's well deserved, and you definitely been doing things. You were mentored by other people,
Mhm.
and now you're the mentee. Or am I saying that, or mentor?
Mentor.
And you got mentees and everything. And I really I think that was our calling, right? I try to
Yeah.
do that, and
Right.
more so than not. And so I'm glad. I'm glad. Um, and you're not too far from this radio station.
Yeah, walking
So,
distance, right
yep.
around the corner.
And that's good. Now let's go back 30 years in your at the YWCA, right?
Yes. it is.
Was it something that that's where you wanted to go? Or did someone tap you on the shoulder, say apply for this job?
Actually, that was mom's. That was
That
my
was
mother.
mom's?
That was
Yeah.
my mother. Because I had, just finished school. I graduated from Bridgewater. It was,
Good.
college at the time, not
Mhm.
university. And honestly, I thought I was going to be a dancer. That was my
Yeah.
thing. I think you probably remember
I remember that.
I
Yeah.
used to dance. I used to teach.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the plan. And
Good.
I was, doing that right here, right downtown in William
Mhm.
Street, which is now Backstage Dance
Yes.
Academy. At the time, it was Miss Mary's. So that was my plan.
Yeah.
But then mom said, well, you got to get a real job,
Mhm.
something else to do,
Yeah.
to get, pass some time and make some money and save money. So she said, oh, I saw this, job in the newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
cut it out for me. And
Yeah.
so I said, all right, what the heck, I applied, went for the job and didn't get the job
Wow.
because, you had a degree, but no experience,
Mhm.
too. But maybe I would say like 2 weeks later, they called
Yeah.
me back and said, oh, we have this new grant, which I didn't know anything what grants were and what these
Mhm.
programs were for, it was only a couple days a week
Wow.
to work with the kids that live at United Front
Mhm.
homes and bring them down to the YWCA, which at the time was on Spring Street,
Yes.
where Nativity Prep is now, and had the pool and the gym, and bring the kids in and do, swimming and cooking and let them play in the gym and program, we did programs on site at United Front. So, I knew United Front because, my Aunt Julie lived there, my
Yes.
Aunt Mary lived there. So I was familiar, with that area. And my mom said, again, get your foot in the door, kind of thing. And so that was, my old boss, who's, as you said, about mentors, Yvonne Drayton, which I think many
Yes.
people know, regal, amazing woman
Yes.
in this
I agree.
community.
I agree.
That so kind of did that, which was really enjoyed it, a lot of fun. I still see some of the kids, so that are now adults, that come because didn't really recognize it at the time, but I was a kid at the YWCA.
Mhm.
That's where I learned to swim,
Yes.
because I almost drowned twice. Once in a pool at a friend's party because
Mhm.
I didn't want to say I didn't know how to swim and
Yep.
everything. And another time at the beach, right down here at the beach, and didn't realize that a lot of kids, didn't
Yeah.
swim in this community. So that
Yeah,
was
and that's
important.
so weird, right?
Right.
All the water we have around here.
Surrounded by water, and my dad grew up in Cape Island, so it's like, yeah, everybody knows how to swim. That's
Yeah.
just part of
Mhm.
what you do. And they tried to teach, but you're kind of scared of the water and that kind of thing. So after that was it. So I went to the YWCA as a kid. Penny Santos was my teacher. I still remember her. She was a
She's
teacher.
awesome.
And that's where we learned. It was just little girls
Mhm.
program. And we used to walk down to Monty's Park and have
Yeah.
lunch over there. And my brother was working for the rec department over
Mhm.
there. So I would see him over there, and we would we learned how to sew and cook and arts and crafts.
Yes.
My grandfather would, walk me down from Big
Mhm.
Village and
Yeah.
bring me back because, I didn't drive.
Mhm.
A lot of people didn't drive. I have a car. So that's what we did. So back to, my career there. So that was in 94. Then we received another grant through Talk About Breast Cancer. So if you think
Mhm.
back when that was really coming out, and the
Yes,
pink
it
ribbons
was.
and all that, and my grandmother had breast cancer, so I knew a little bit,
Mhm.
about it. And that was the first time they sent me to a conference out of town. Never been out of town, and
Mhm.
we didn't travel, we didn't do anything like that.
Very
So
nice.
my first time being away for a whole week with people I didn't know, and that was it. That was just life changing. Just meeting people from all over the country and learning about not just breast cancer, but learning about the YWCA and what we
Mhm.
did, and the work to empower women and eliminate racism and work with
Yeah.
young people. It was life changing, experience. So kept doing a little bit more here and there, and I joke about it now with Yvonne. And I said, "You already had plans," and she said, "Oh yeah, I had plans for you." Pretty much from when I met you, like,
Yeah.
okay, that's the one. And
Mhm.
she just kept giving me a lot of opportunities to,
Yeah.
like, hey, come with me to this meeting. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to go. I
Yeah.
want to go to these
Yeah.
things, and didn't know what was going on, but just listened, took a lot of notes, and just
Yeah.
paid attention. And, took me to different, events and dinners and meetings. And I decided to go back to school to get my master's degree. So I did that, went back to Bridgewater,
Mhm.
to do that. So when she said she was going to retire, and I was young, I was a young
Yeah.
mom. I had two little kids, like, had like a baby,
Yeah.
the second one at the time. But I was like, all right, I know I want this. I want this
That's
job.
very
I know
nice.
I want to do this. So she helped me. And because I was like, what, 33, 34 when I got promoted.
Mhm.
Yeah, going by the age now, so you can figure out how old I am. So it was, but it was great. It was, as I had thought about leaving at one point and ended up, staying too. And I'm really, really glad that I did, because
Yeah.
it's really been, the work that we do is really important.
Yes, it
to
is.
me. So, and, hopefully to our community.
I think it is. There was a time when I was a youngster that on Spring Street with the YWCA,
Mhm.
it was we always knew that that's where the girls go, and but for some reason I can't remember the program. All I remember is it was me, Hector Barrows, and a few others that were there, and and thanks to that program, I became better friends with Hector
Mhm.
even before we were, in the same school at Gomes School later on.
Yeah.
But that was a good experience. I was petrified of the pool,
Mhm.
um, and let's see, in 76. Excuse my, that's my age. I almost drowned in Florida.
Mhm.
So could you imagine a mom sending her two boys down to Florida, hang out with their dad, and I was very close to not coming back home.
Mhm.
And so I also lived some experience where some of our friends in the city did take off somewhere in the summer
Mhm.
and didn't come back.
Yeah.
So I was blessed and fortunate, and but I think about it. I mean, all summer we're down at the beaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, all summer we're down on the hurricane dikes or down the harbor fishing. So I was playing with some crazy, things could have happened. just fooling around, going out on rubber rafts and all that. So,
Oh, yeah.
but I wanted to kind of mention that because I think it's very important that we do teach our kids, how to swim. And there's a few facilities,
There's a few programs too
yeah.
that are doing that.
So
It is important.
it's very, very important.
And it's scary. Like I said, I almost drowned twice, so it's
Mhm.
that's something I'm old enough to remember. So
Yeah.
it is
Believe
scary.
Believe it or not, I still have dreams about it. Comes every now and then. So tragic.
Yeah. And every summer there are kids that do. So I know we, at the YWCA, we take our kids. We
Mhm.
had a partnership one year with the YMCA. Brought them to the
Perfect.
pool. We bring them down. We brought them to community boating.
Mhm.
Down to Youth Opportunities Unlimited with Bernadette.
Yes.
Used to be at the Boys and Girls Club too, and just again exposing kids, because that's one thing I've in the last few years that I've
Mhm.
realized, not probably like when we grew up, but
Yeah.
we went to the beach, we walked a lot of places, we went to the parks, and a lot of the kids didn't realize
Yeah.
that we had that, and I was like, wow, that's sad, like you
True.
said, because I remember the days, because my mom didn't drive, we would take the bus or we would walk.
Mhm.
And she'd make her a little something for
Yep.
us, or and then my father would come after work and pick us up because we didn't have AC. It's hot,
Mhm.
and we did that a couple times a week, types of things. But it's like, wow, you didn't know that we had, and it's much better now than it was,
definitely.
back then. But they didn't realize that we had, beaches or just to hang out and be in
Mhm.
community and be family. It's a nice place.
Yeah. I truly love the city,
Yeah.
for a lot of things, and it doesn't have some of the things that a lot of the big cities have, but I'll take it.
Mhm.
I see improvement. I know it's kind of slow improvement, but it's still improvement in my eyes.
Yeah.
One of the highlights in the last couple of years was right down on the waterfront. They were knocking down that smokestack from Eversource.
Mm-hmm.
Calm Electric, where it all depends,
Yeah.
and it was so important to me to see the ocean, and
Right.
I just liked that that it was gone. I was actually I was working and I was able to see it.
Yeah.
So imagine that getting paid and you're able to see something that's been an eyesore. So
Yeah.
um, so things like that, the railroad.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that's going to help you and your organization?
Oh, the train?
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly. I
Mhm.
mean, I think it's good and bad. And then I don't want to say well, maybe not bad, but I
Mhm.
think they have some concerns. I mean,
Mhm.
we're a housing provider in
Yeah.
the city. We have 3 housing programs. And, we see a lot of different women coming in that we didn't
Yeah.
see before that, they might have lived in the same tenement 20 years and now they're priced out.
Yes.
So they're looking for, low income housing or, working women,
Mhm.
women on disability, Social Security, elders. So that's the difference that we're seeing because of the
Yeah.
prices, and there's not a
Mhm.
lot of, housing out there and people are buying up. So that's a worry. But then on the good part, hopefully that'll
Yeah.
expose people to more jobs. Or I know my youngest daughter's dying. She's never been on the train. So I said, when
Mhm.
that's open, we're going to take the train to Boston.
Yes.
So I think getting the kids or, people that want to go or that don't like to drive or
Mhm.
can't drive, to Boston, that'll expose them to different things.
It's
Too.
definitely.
So I think it has its pros and cons. It's been a long time, like 20
Exactly.
years that we've been hearing
Yes.
about this. So,
Exactly.
but I think it's really close. I mean, I drive by there almost every day,
Mhm.
on the way to work. So you can see the progress.
Yeah. I've been enjoying watching the progress. Trains were kind of, good for me in this city because we would take off from the South End and go and watch the trains down over here.
Yeah.
Um, and but that was early in my life, and then it was gone.
Right.
I'd
Yeah.
never forget the big fire down there, and could see the smoke from everywhere. And we ran down there just to watch them put it out. But crazy.
Yeah.
This little big city has big little. It's a little, but it's still a city, right?
No, it's still a city. I mean, it's over 100,000 people,
Yeah.
and I mean, it is a gem. I know a lot of people that come from out of town. I mean, I have family that live out of town, and
Yeah.
they love it when they come here, and or they marry people that are not from here, and they come here
Yes.
like, wow, the beach is right there. We have to drive
A long
long
time,
way
yes.
to get to the beach. So it makes you kind of put it in perspective, like, oh yeah, it is right there. Even if whether you like it or not, or you go in the water or not, or there's music, or the food. They love the seafood, and just where they live in different parts of Jersey, you have to drive a long ways to get to everything, which I've noticed when I go visit them. I'm like, wow, we can just 5-10 minutes you can get to a Dunkin' Donuts or a Dollar Tree or a mall or a store or wherever you want to go, and everything is jump on the highway.
Not everyone wants to go to a public pool, right? And there's some parts of the
the beach and the fresh air is a little different then.
There was
public pool part.
There's some communities that I lived in, and that was the public pool, that's where you went to. But I couldn't do that all my life, I actually I just don't like it, it doesn't So let me remind everybody that we're going to be on YouTube. We are on Facebook Live right now. So if you're listening, please share this podcast. Gail, feel free, if you can log on to your Facebook, you can go to my page, share it. And what I'm going to do is actually download this to Spotify also, and create an audio on Spotify and video, because I can do both. And let's see. Gail, I have one more question. What type? Oops, hold on one second. WNB1 Radio. Oops, hold on. Hey, what's up, man? Yep. No, I couldn't. The same thing from that happened yesterday. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Perfect. Makes sense. All right. All right. All right. No problem. Yeah, I'm on now. So I'll do it. It's on Facebook Live with Gail Forts, and then I'll create the files, and we'll have that also. But everything's good, and I'll be on next Tuesday too. So okay. All right. Perfect. I'll give it a shot. All right. Thank you. All right. All right. Hey, had to straighten out some technical things, and we want to add to who can hear you and I, and that's the people that are listening to WNB1 Radio. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and get us going on that, so everyone can hear us on the radio. Always, if you can, add WNB1 Radio to your devices. That will be Apple and Android, and just put in WNB1, spell out the word one, and the app will come up. All right, let's see here. We are looking for something here. All right, Gail, if you don't mind, could you talk to us about some of the youth programs that you have there at the YWCA?
Sure. So we have our biggest program is we have childcare program, all youth, boys and girls. We're not just girls, anymore. That's changed a long time ago. to ages 5 through 14. We're after school program, and in about 2 weeks we'll be into full day program. So right now we do we're licensed by the state, so we're certified through Massachusetts Department of Early Education and Care. There's 2 staff per room plus a director, and new that we've added is a mental health clinician after COVID, because we've saw that this was a lot of issues with our young folks as well as their families, and try to be as supportive as possible. She just actually graduated with her master's from Bridgewater, and we want to do even more clinical services, just socialization, Charlie. Just talking to each other face to face, not just on the phone. And, understanding how to interact. So we see a lot of that, as well as, we have a lot of kids that are in DCF, living with the grandparents, living with aunts, different family situations. So providing that support is important. So we pick up from about half of the schools in New Bedford. So we do door-to-door transportation, to our site, which is, as Charlie says, right around the corner from here. A new site that we opened actually right before COVID, the end of 2019, which was good. I'm so glad that we opened and had everything ready, because we were open the whole time. We were a remote learning site, which was great. And then for the summer, we're open from 7:30 to 5:30. And we do have openings left too. So, you can call up, they'll, go on our website. So that's a big program for us. We also have youth council, which is high school students.
Okay.
Too. They'll be wrapping up pretty soon for the end of the year, but it's any high school in the area. It's not just New Bedford High, too. And it's freshmen through, seniors. They do a lot of leadership. Like, as an example, over April vacation, they did what we call a Youth Leadership Academy. So the high school students were working with middle schoolers for that whole week and doing different programming. They do things like host debates when election season comes along. In the spring, sometimes they do like a coat drive or clothing. They always do like a community service project. So it's led, we have a facilitator, but it's really led by the kids. And we really try to teach them about being leaders, too. And then we have, we're doing a lot of advocacy work, as well, working with young folks, especially right now, talking about voting, especially registering to vote, encouraging your family and friends to vote. If you're not old enough, go with them to the polls. This is a big election year. Yes, not going to get into politics, but just, it's, and locally too, your local voice counts. So we're working, actually with Manny DeBrito, with a school-based effort to really get, kids and families to vote, and really looking at, we know there's a low voter turnout. So it's not just getting people registered, but we want to get people there. So we just received a grant, actually. So we're going to be looking for some interns, especially over the summer, to really work in the city and get people, about that and about the issues that are important, to you here just locally, not just on, the national level. So we have, a lot of things going on for youth. And then for adults too, we serve even up to senior citizens with different programs right now. Like a day like on Tuesdays, we do our fresh food days. We work with Coastal Food Shed and Round the Bend Farm, along with a few other providers. And we're giving out about 50 bags of fresh produce and
very nice
other things with recipes that are translated in different languages, too, because sometimes, we saw in the beginning, somebody that's Cape Verdean doesn't understand, how do you make this? How do you prepare? And they would just give it to somebody else or throw it away. And, thinking about like healthy and nutrition and things like that too. So we're working with our families, on that too.
One thing I've learned from this city is there's no reason for anyone to be hungry in the city. There is abundance of programs and open to everyone, and just got to know where to go. And I think the school department, the YWCA, YMCA,
they'll have the pop-ups. I think they already have those farmers markets, and they accept SNAP and all these other programs. Because it's expensive. Fresh food is expensive.
It is. So
especially right now.
But anything you're doing, please, we can, you and I, we're just a phone call away. So if anything you have to send to me, whether it's email or text, or I'll share it. I'll definitely share it,
Yep,
and
yep.
especially when I'm on Tuesdays.
No,
I have
definitely.
2 other podcasts that I'm
Hmm.
working on. That I'll share it wherever I'm at, wherever platform I'm on, and only because um, your organization is very essential,
Hmm.
and you're doing a great job. I don't have to, you know, worry about what you're doing there. And if Gail's telling me or anyone else in the Y, I don't even hesitate. Don't even think of, let me look into this. No, I don't. I don't have to. You know, your reputation, both with the organization and yourself, is extraordinary. So keep up the good work. And if anyone does talk about you, I'm gonna have to punch them in the face. But we have so many things going on, and it's got a lot to do with people like yourself that are doing some hard work, and it may be some work that we're not comfortable doing, but we got to do it, right?
No, you gotta, sometimes you just have to have, the conversation. Sometimes we talk about things some people don't want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, with advocacy and health education,
Yes.
reproductive health,
Yes.
equity, racial equity. We
Mm-hmm.
have a really great to have David Guadalupe on our team
Yes.
for almost 2 years now. He's making 2 years, and he does a lot of that advocacy and racial
Yes.
equity work, and he brings his art into it. And I got to tell you, the kids love him. They can't
Yeah.
wait for Mr. David to come down and
Mm-hmm.
really expose them and see somebody who looks like them.
Yeah.
And can tell, his story from, where he grew up and his family, and using his art and how we use it to teach about, equity and justice,
Mm-hmm.
and fairness and civics. Cause, he was, he's
Yeah.
a teacher as well. But he's just brought, not only, and he does it with adults,
Mm-hmm.
as well. But really shining a light on, as you said, sometimes the hard conversations
Yes.
that we have to have. And then and we start them from little, our
Mm-hmm.
kindergartners are having these, these conversations, and how you just use these different forms of art,
Mm-hmm.
as well as other, methods. He loves to do things like you're doing, and with videos. He's
Yes.
done a lot of Facebook Live
Mm-hmm.
things, and really showing, women in business, people of color, and their art, not just with art, but just their different things, and really just trying
Yeah.
to shine a light, because we do have a lot of people. And we, as you said, I'm in that age now too, that,
Yeah.
I'm still mentored by,
Yeah.
people like Yvonne and Lee Blake and some of
Mm-hmm.
the other amazing women. And I have a lot of my good colleagues like Bernadette Souza, Maria
Yep.
Rosario, people that are doing great work,
Sure are.
that I've Rob Mendes, that I've had the pleasure of working with for a long
Mhm.
time. And, we talk about, that next generation, that's
Yes.
when we pass the torch, that we want to make sure, and there's a lot of them out there, young men and women,
Sure are.
that we want to make sure are, having their voices heard, whether
Yep.
they're running organizations, they're in
Mm-hmm.
politics, whatever it is that they're doing. And it does make a difference to see people that look like you, and that have those lived experiences,
Yes.
that are doing things in our city, and in our community, because they get it, they understand
Yeah, they
it.
do.
Yeah.
It's weird. You met David, and I was talking to someone in his family just about 2 hours ago. And
Really?
it's amazing. So,
Yeah.
and we
He's
were
great. He's amazing. We love him.
trying to,
Yeah.
yeah, he's, I mean, I'd like to get him on the
Oh
the
yeah, you can get
podcast,
him on here too.
and
Yeah.
which leads to my next question for you.
Mhm.
But I would like to get David on here
Yeah.
only because so many things that him and I could relate
Oh,
to,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that would be a good discussion. So if you see him before I do, why don't you mention it?
I will tell him tomorrow.
All right. The This next question is something I ask everyone on the show, and so who would you like to see on the Really Charlie podcast on WNB1 Radio?
Oh, who would I like to see? Well, I don't know if they've already been on. Let me see. Bernadette Souza, I think, would be great. I don't know if she's been on.
I asked her a couple of times.
All right, I'll work on her.
She's she likes to just pass, not pass the buck, but she wants other people to be highlighted,
Yeah.
and she kind of
She's doing good work.
gives herself, you know, she's not ready to pat herself on the back. You
Okay.
know, she wants to be that caregiver, that mentor, you know, and so she just wants to you know, give it to someone else,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Gail Ford,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I
Like
think David would be great. I
Miss
think
Drayton.
Miss Drayton, yeah. Eva Brito, I don't know if she's been on here.
Yep, a couple of times.
She's been on here, is great. You know, doing good work. Soraya DeSantos, I don't know if you know her.
Yes,
She's been on here.
I
Great
know
work with Sacred Birthing Village and maternal health.
I know her not personally, but I know her through you know, pictures, social media, different discussions with
Yeah.
other people. So know the name,
Yeah,
don't know the person,
yeah,
right?
fabulous young women
Yep.
that's really bringing that to light of
Yes.
maternal health in our community. It's not just happening in some other country.
So
it's
important.
happening right here, you know, in New Bedford, especially to, you know, women of color, and really, you know, having conversations,
It's
you know, about that, I think is really important.
I'm glad that we got away from, you know, this community. We got away from those taboo
Mhm.
situations or issues, and we're not too afraid anymore. You know,
No,
I
no,
don't think so. I think
no.
that
Well, it still is in some, you know,
and
some
yeah,
aspects. That's
yeah.
things that, you know, I mean, it was even a lot of things that I didn't know about it
Hmm.
until, you know, talking to her and different experiences, you know,
Yes.
that I've had. But people a lot of times don't talk about certain subjects when
Hmm.
it comes to, I'll just say, reproductive health in
Yes.
general, all ages, even
Yes.
as you get older.
Exactly.
And we just held a workshop. I'll put it out there on menopause. So, you know,
Hmm.
we had a lot of women there that, you know, over 50 and 60. And again, you don't, another thing you don't talk about and think about,
Hmm.
and it's like your life is over, and it's no, it's not over. It's just another piece
Yes.
of your life. And the same thing is as you get older and being a senior, but being a senior now and a senior 20, 30 years ago,
Yeah.
and I think about my
Hmm.
grandparents is very different. People are living longer, people
Yes.
are doing a lot of things. So it's, I think, just having those conversations about what is healthy living and what is that, you
They,
know, being for folks. But there's
yeah.
you know, even with the Cape Verdean Association, some of the things we're trying to do, I'm trying to think some of our younger, you know, members that are brand new, this is their
Yeah.
first time on a board. And you know, Giovanni Sequoia
Hmm.
is great. He works for the
Yes.
city and teaching dance, and
Hmm.
you know, is one of our younger, newer board members, just stepping up to the plate, you know.
It's great to see those pictures of, you know, different people.
Yeah.
Uh and you just talked about, you know, passing the torch.
Yeah.
And when you look at pictures of, you know, from the Cape Verdean Association, and you see that, guess what? The torch is going to be passed,
Mhm.
and it's going to be passed on to some great people. So
Definitely.
you know, I know at one point in both our lives that, you know, every day of the week was a board meeting, right?
Yeah.
Or at least, you know, four, you know,
Yeah.
at the least three days out of the week was a board meeting. And in your case it was probably 4 or 5 days out of the week. And
Yeah.
we have to appreciate the cell phone to keep, you know, a Google Calendar or whatever, you know. And
Absolutely.
it's very, very important.
No, but now too, you know, you got phones, we got Zoom, so we don't have to meet
Yes.
in person as much. But it's like for me, that's, you know, that's, I mean, I do a lot of things, but that's one of the things that I, you know, I enjoy. It's about community. It's not part of my job. I'm not doing it because of that. I'm doing it, you know, just as, you know, next generation Cape Verdean American. And as you said, now that I've been on there for a while, and my goal is to get the building open. We get, you know, some people, good, as you said, the next generation running it, and then you can, you know, and they're learning at the same time, and then we can walk away and knowing that that's there. Because, you know, when I was looking at the list, my godfather was one of the founders that, you know, they put in their own money to buy that building. So, and most of them, you know, are deceased now, the people that started that. So it's like you want to make that dream, you know, a reality. And it's slow going, but it's getting there. So thank you, everybody that believed and supported.
Yeah,
Just
I'm a believer, that's for sure.
just like when we did our building, it took 10 years, so it
Mhm.
takes a long time to get the money, and especially now everything's
Yeah,
very expensive.
and I mean, you should find out now that, or realize now that some smaller organizations are probably coming to you guys now and asking for some advice, right?
Oh, definitely, because
And
if you don't, it's really difficult.
yeah,
And I know when we started, just like with Cape Association, we had to, get the house in order a little bit, as
hmm
I call it.
yeah,
And at the YWCA, we had to do the same thing a little bit,
yeah,
to be able to do these big, because these are huge projects, and
yeah.
when you've never done it before, there's a lot going on. And if
Yeah.
you don't have people with experience, and none of us are contractors, none of us are
hmm
engineers, so
Yeah,
you got to have a lot of trust in the architects and the people you're working with
exactly.
too,
Um,
because it's a
amazing,
lot of money to raise.
amazing people at I just left when
Yeah.
Whale was getting involved in
Oh yeah.
some of the things that they were doing and trying to help out was amazing.
No, I've learned a lot because there's historic buildings, which we have
hmm
a lot of in New Bedford.
Yes.
So anytime you're trying to rehab any of these places, it's
Yeah.
not as easy as I think.
No, it isn't. We talked about regulations and
Lot going on.
yeah.
Accessibility and lead, and there's a
hmm
lot going on. Yeah.
All right. Let's see, Gail, I want to kind of end with something that you may want to tell everybody. As far as if you want to talk to someone about, like a conclusion to this great podcast,
Sure.
because with you being here, it's great. It's something I definitely will keep and share, and I'm gonna definitely forward all this video and audio to you so you can use at the Y.
Mhm.
But um,
No, I thank you for the opportunity to be
yeah,
here, and for me, it's really been a blessing to
yes,
work at an organization, to go to a place every day that I love, because I hear a lot of people that,
hmm
yes, it's nonprofit, so you're not making big bucks, but I don't hate my job. Every day is a different day. Every day is a new challenge. I've
hmm
had the opportunity to meet a lot of people that I probably
yeah,
never would have, met before. I've learned a lot and continue to learn,
that's good.
a lot. And, honestly, the best part is, like was saying to you, earlier, is, coming in and seeing, we have people that are, were kids in our programs that now work there,
hmm
or, people that were interns from college that now we've hired, and you can see their growth, there, or people that lived in our housing program that I'll run into, and they'll say, oh, I got married, I had a baby, I bought a
Yeah,
house. And I remember how, distraught they were, depressed
hmm
they were. I just thought that they just couldn't get over, that hump to
yeah,
be able to do that. So that just like makes a difference, that,
sure does.
and I'm glad that I was able to have that opportunity to learn from so many different amazing,
Yeah,
people. And, I was able to bring up my kids, and now my granddaughter comes with me to, she went to her first rally last year. She's been to two
I
actually
love it.
already, and learning how to
Excellent.
advocate, and, bring her to, different things. And your voice is really important, whether it's with voting, whether it's speaking up
hmm
in a doctor's office,
Yes.
whether it's, whatever it is that you're doing with, just helping people to help themselves, to do that. And yeah, that your voice is important, and it doesn't matter, the color of your skin, the
No.
country that you come from, the language that you speak, your economic status, your sexual orientation, gender
hmm
identity, none of that matters. It's just that everyone, is the same and should be,
Yeah.
treated the same. And that's the things that we're just trying to work with people and teach people and
hmm
bring, to people's attention.
I agree. I agree. This is some people use the word diversity uh kind of, they just use it and really don't have anything that's actually diverse, right?
Mm.
And in this city, when we say diversity and all the things that are going on, we have more than enough to prove that
Mm.
this city is diverse this community is, and
Right.
so and just kind of everything that you just said. It's I don't care who you are, you need help. New Bedford's one of the best in this area that will help you out, and one of the best in the state, I think. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, right. I think we all help each other. If it's,
yes,
I know if we get a phone call and if it's something that we don't do, we're not gonna, we're gonna try to find and point them in the right direction. We won't just
networking,
say,
yeah,
and everybody that we work with does the same thing,
yeah,
is having that network of is, we're not competing.
yes, and
We're just
that's
all trying to do the same thing and
so
work together.
so important.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, everyone, this is Gail Forts. She is the executive director of the YWCA here in New Bedford, Massachusetts, on 6th Street. And what's the number?
508-999-3255.
All right. And so great building and great people inside and out. And I just highly recommend that if you to go to the website and search, you may find something that you may need that will help you, your family, or someone close to you. So,
Mhm.
check out the YWCA website, and uh, and don't forget us here on WNB1 Radio. Add us to your devices, Apple or Android, and all our different podcasts and shows and music is right on WNB1.com. Uh, we try to stream everything through the website, and it's going well. It's going well, and I really like how you know the powers to be are making this station level up every single month. They're doing something. There's you come in here and something's going to change. You come in next month, there's going to be something different. So and they're always trying to reach out with me through. We have our so-called entertainment. I call it outreach because every month they're doing a First Friday's comedy show, and we have a good audience, talented comedians from all over the country that come here, and B Mags and Steve Lopes do a wonderful job. Just want to mention we have Luxury Tax with you know, Margarita Graham. We have Janine Hunt. We have Diane Ferreras. We have Giamara. So Ziamara. We have all of them doing their programs. They're actually down, I believe, they're in Miami right now. So they're doing some crazy things, and they're gonna kind of give us a bunch of episodes all at once, I think, and we're going to be able to binge and watch every show one after another. Frequency Live, we have that on Sundays. Roberto Carter, Jasmine Vasconcelos, Derek Demers, Joe Carrion, Edmund Ray is usually sitting back there on the scenes doing the production. So it's all people you know.
That's right.
All right, and the Really Charlie podcast on Tuesday. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned. I have another guest coming up from G's Kitchen down on Brock Avenue in New Bedford. She'll be coming on within about the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So bear with me. All right.
It's no secret that the trucking industry is struggling for drivers. So why not look for a school that can
sure to mention that WMB1 Radio sent you.
Hey. Welcome back. That's a great podcast. I actually trying to do a lot of things, with people in the community, New Bedford community, or further out. It doesn't matter. I think I've touched on a few states in this country, with the podcast and WNB1 Radio. I had quite a few people, and so I just don't leave it to the New Bedford community. If you really want to come on the show and highlight someone or highlight yourself, whether you're an author, an artist, um, musical group, like my good friends, the Groovalatos, they're doing amazing things, setting up tours, and they're doing some things throughout the community. So, that's what it's about. That's what this radio station's about, and so I'm looking forward to getting our next guest on air, local business owner called G's Kitchen on Brock Avenue in New Bedford. Um, and they focus on Haitian food, and the Haitian population is building pretty, you know, heavily in the city. You could see that with the people around you, the workers, the students in schools, and so they're definitely coming in, and they're establishing a very strong base, very good base, like businesses and great workers. So G's Kitchen is one of them that you can count on, and they have good food, good spot, good location, and so they'll be here momentarily around 7:15. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to look for a few things and get some music playing for you. And also, I want to mention that next week I have a local producer. His government name is Casey Santos, and he's going to try to come on. He's been producing some records, producing some artists, and has his own music, and I'm going to try to get him on air, but we have to work out the schedule. So next week that will be he'll be on. Going to get Dr. David Spencer on here and talk about mental health. He also has something coming up June 27th at the I believe it's the Marriott, the Fairfield Inn down on the waterfront. But he'll come on and he's going to talk about that. But we really want to get down and deep on mental health. I think it's very, very important that we kind of talk about it. And as I mentioned that, my friend Waleem, he was scheduled to be here today for the podcast tonight, and but he's been doing some work, so we are definitely I miss him because every conversation I have with him, we have some amazing conversations, and that's why we call it poetic conversations. And we talk about many things, and so he was busy with close people in his family, and he just couldn't make it today. But we'll be back. He'll be back the first Tuesday every month. He comes on. And if he's kind of doing an event somewhere and he's playing a gig with his group, sometimes I just pop in there, and I may kind of put out a flash podcast and have him on there. But he's doing great things. Got a new album on Spotify. It's amazing, and he's actually doing the Thunder Child tour. So that's Waleem, the Funky Professor. He will definitely be back in the month of July. So, all right. Also, I started a new podcast with Phil Young. Came up to me and talked to me. He says, "Hey, man, I got to keep busy, man. I got to do a few things. I had this little vision of what I wanted to do, and the one thing he wanted to do is do a sports podcast. So we aired yesterday, and it was pretty good, pretty cool, and we talked about the Celtics and a few other things. We got an upcoming next week we'll be talking about steroids with and the banning of Barry Bonds. Also the banning of Pete Rose, and also we're going to get into Roger Clemens. So those three, that's going to be our main conversation next Monday, 7:30. Um, and we're looking to get some guests on there. So that's our thing. And I wanted to do something with my buddy, and he asked to do it, and we're going to stay busy. We also do I do fentanyl facts and stories on Wednesday with Paulie Young, his wife, and we talk about the facts of and dangers of fentanyl and how it affects everybody, whether you're doing things recreational or you're just going through some substance abuse. And fentanyl is laced with everything, and they have these little counterfeit pills going around that's been around, and the production of those pills are almost at 90,000 per hour. They can be created very quickly, and so you got to watch out. They look like candy, and you know, but it definitely isn't. Fentanyl will kill you very, very quickly, and so all right. This is going to be an interesting night because I don't think I ever done anything where shows back to back. Gail being here, uh, G's Kitchen coming on. We had poetic conversation slotted in here, and but it's all good. I'm just trying to do what I can to get people on the show. So, all right. I will be back momentarily. I'm going to let the music play from the radio station. I will sign back on through Facebook Live and WNB1.com within the next, it looks like 30 minutes. So I'll be back in 30 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to actually going to let the music play, and Brian puts out a great list of music. So enjoy the music, and I will see you right around 7:30. All right. Thank you.